In this lesson, we will learn how to format slide backgrounds using PowerPoint. Up to this point, you've been using some of the preset presentations for images, and so now what we'll do is just take a look at how we can create our own backgrounds and create our own custom presentations. And so one of the most basic things you can do is to go ahead and format the background of the slide before you put any text or images on that background or on that slide. So what we will do is look at how to create a solid background. Pretty simple. Just choose the color and do a fill. This would be known as a solid fill. And so you can do that with different colors. And then we'll get into the gradients, which allow a bit more creativity. And you have a lot of options to work with in PowerPoint to create these. And so these are known as gradients, where we take a color and transition that color across the slide. So we have the ability to change the color, change the position, and change the transparency and brightness of these different colors that we will select. So let's go ahead and get started. Step number 1. Let's go ahead and create a new presentation, and we will select a blank presentation. And then we can just go ahead and give that presentation a name, or our assignment here, which will be formatting backgrounds. And then the next thing we will need to do is to create several blank backgrounds that we can then go in and practice with. So step number 1. Let's go to Insert, New Slide, and let's just go ahead and choose the blank. And there's a blank, and then we want to duplicate that several times so we can get about 12 of these. And so far what we've done is to come in here and right-click and click Duplicate, which we can certainly do, but there is a quicker way to do that. And here's the shortcut. Hold down the Control key and press the letter C. This is a command you're familiar with. Control C is to copy. And then, with the Control key down, press the letter V. And that is the paste command. Control V. So there's a duplicate. Now I still have the Control key down, and so I'm just going to hit that several times. I'm pressing the letter V. There's 8 slides, 9, 10, 11, and there's 12. That should be good. And so now I've got 12 blank slides that I can practice with. So I'm going to go back to slide number 2, and then I'm ready to go as far as some backgrounds go, and I will put in, we'll start with solid color. Step number 1, to insert a solid color. If at any time I'm going too fast, of course, just pause this video and go ahead and get caught up. So here we go. Step number 1, main menu, look for design. And as usual with PowerPoint, lots of preset designs, very nice. But if we keep going all the way over to the right, we can come over to Format Background. Now you can use this format background with any of these presets also, but in this lesson we'll focus on just manipulating on a blank slide. So click Format Background. And the first one that we will work with is Solid Fill. And the only thing we need to do is come down here, and our options are change the color. So right now it's white. Drop this down. Now real nice in PowerPoint is that we have these theme colors that we can work with, which will become real handy when we start with our gradients. So go ahead and pick one of those, and I'll pick that, and there you go. There's a solid color. Go to the next slide, pick another one. So real simple. So that is using a solid fill. Now let's get a little bit more challenging here. I'm going to go to this blank slide. I'm on slide number 4. Let's choose gradient. Now yours will probably look different than this. This is some leftovers from something I was doing earlier. But notice that the thing that we are going to work with here, well, first of all, let's take a look at the presets. Preset gradients, and those are these right here. So if you click on any of these, you can see that you have some basic color choices that you could choose, and then we could go in and manipulate those. So let's go ahead and pick one of these preset grays. And then let's come down and take a look at these gradient stops. These set the location of a particular color that we can control, and you'll see as I move that little gray area is changing its position, and you can do that with all of these. Now you can add and subtract these gradient stops by using the plus, add gradient stop, or we can delete them by clicking the delete gradient stop. So let's do this. Let's start with 3 of these. I'm going to put one all the way to the right, one in the middle, and one on the left. The next thing that we can do with these gradient stops is that we can set the color. So I'm going to start over here on the right side, and notice that there's an outline around that stop. And now I can go in and set the color for that gradient stop. And so this is where these families can come in real handy, these theme colors. And so I'm going to choose, I'll just go ahead and choose the first one over here. And I'll go ahead and start with the white background that's 5% darker. And then I'm going to click on the middle stop. And I'm going to choose that color. And then I'm going to go to my far left, which is just white, and I'm going to make that, I'll just go ahead and make that one a little bit darker. So we've set 3 different colors on 3 different stops. And now I can go in and try to get a little creative here and manipulate these gradient stops to get some desired effect for a background. Now the other thing that I can do is I can come over here and manipulate the type of gradient that I want. Right now we've got straight lines, linear, but I can come in here and make it radial, and that'll give me some different options, a bit of a different feel to this. And so you can fool with those and come up with some interesting effects. So at this point it would be good to pause the video and get some experience practicing with these gradients. A couple other options that you may want to experiment with these gradients has to do with the transparency of the particular color and also the brightness of that particular color. So you can use those to further enhance your creativity while creating a background slide. You may also want to experiment with increasing the number of gradients. You know, if you want to throw in another color here, you could come in here, and if you wanted to go in and do something just a little more adventurous, see if we can throw an orange in there and see what that might do to our presentation. Lower the brightness of that. That's interesting. So for this lesson, go ahead and create 4 solid backgrounds and 6 gradient fills, and then have me come around and take a look at that, and we will move on to our next lesson.